Question, regarding your automatic writing experiment 005. If we are playing characters here on Earth and are not our true selves, what happens to the character ego when we die?
Answer, as you may surmise, like characters in a video game, when you die and return to your soul essence, the character you played on Earth gets dissolved into matter so the universe can reuse it in the dimension the character was in. Now, if there is a dimension that may need to use this character, all the information relevant to the build of it is used once again, so a different soul can inhabit the character, using all the features and statistics that the character already had when you were inhabiting it. This all refers to the concept we once shared with our conduit that life is a game.
Question, about your automatic writing experiment 004 part 2. It was stated that, if you had changed timelines, communication between the two of you would not have happened. How does someone change timelines? Can someone do this deliberately, and with full conscious awareness of what they are doing?
Answer, changing timelines in your current level of consciousness is very unlikely, and we are talking about humanity in general, not just you, particularly. Please note that unlikely does not mean impossible, so yes, you could indeed change timelines consciously if you truly desired it, but since this is a very delicate process, we don't want to delve into it, and we already talked about this in one of your previous experiments. Just know that the process involves going to sleep in your timeline, and waking up in a different one. Also of note is that sometimes the universe switches you from one timeline to another without your knowledge, but, as usual, the main issue here remains that once you wake up in the new timeline, all the memories from your previous timeline are erased, and all the information pertaining to the new timeline gets uploaded into the brain of the body you're currently inhabiting, so you won't know you are in a different timeline. You will wake up believing you have always been there. That's why we say that changing timelines is a delicate situation.
Question, I know a person that you would describe as a dirty soul, probably stained beyond repair, just a disgusting excuse for a human being. How is it possible for this to happen to someone? I thought we all had spirit guides to help guide us in our lives. When this happens to someone, do their spirit guides just give up on them and consider them a lost cause?
Answer, we feel we once mentioned that not all people you see around you are actual humans with souls. Humans without souls is not only possible, but actually quite prevalent in your current society. Not having a soul means you don't have spirit guides, superior selves or whatever name you want to call them. You don't need a soul to be alive as a human. All you need is a working organism and a brain, that's it. There is no need for a soul to inhabit a body. As crude as it may sound to you, think of all the cars in the world. Some of the cars have owners who drive them, but there are many cars that just sit in garages or dealerships without anyone driving them, but they still exist. And to maybe better define the analogy, think that now even driverless cars exist, vehicles that don't need anyone inside, that just need information fed by artificial intelligence in order to get where they need to go. Those are the best analogy for the people who are alive but who have no souls. It goes without saying that these people are absolutely more prone to be stained or ruined as you mention. But, this is not always the case. You may see someone who, to all human aspects, is an evil person and a waste of space in the universe. But, there may actually be a soul inside that person which is going through a transmutation process and that needs to experience everything the person is experiencing in order to fulfill the change. The universe is very simple but at the same time, much more complex than we can explain in just one sitting of these experiments. We are okay with expanding on this subject in the future.
Question, is it true that creativity is not from the people itself but more or less channeled? Coming from outside and the creative person uses his antenna to pick it up?
Answer, to a certain extent, yes. Things like songs and poems are generally taken from an infinite database that exists in the universe where everything that was ever created or that will ever be created, exists. So yes, when you come up with a song or similar pieces of art, you channel it for the most part, but the creativity portion of this process is that what you channeled wasn't already in the plane of existence you're currently at, so it took you doing it to bring that piece of art into the world. That's your creativity. So while we can't say that creativity in itself doesn't exist because all of it is channeled, we still want to say that humans did play a huge role in creating that infinite database that exists. You live in a universe where everything has already happened, but there is a chance that you one day existed in an empty universe, one that needed creations, and you may have contributed something really new to it. But in the current one, everything that needed to be created has already been created. It just depends on creative people to bring those creations into your current dimension.
Question: do you guys believe in God? If not, do you have something similar in your own culture?
Answer: God is permeable knowledge that exists throughout the entire universe. So, do we believe in something that indeed exists? Yes, we believe that there is such thing, but we don't devote to it. We acknowledge its existence, but we don't worship it, veneer it, or pay tribute to it. We just know it's there and we refer its knowledge whenever we need it. So, in that sense, no, we don't have something similar to your God in our culture. To us, God is air, God is our sons, God is all that there is, we are God. But we don't build dogma around it.
Question: you mentioned, many years ago, that you are in a spacecraft above the Earth, and that you were just one of many ships around the planet. Have more ships come to Earth since then, or has the number decreased? If so, what would be the reason for it?
Answer: the number of ships hasn't been altered much, because we're part of the group of beings who agreed to the deal that involved being on Earth at this point in time. In other words, this was some sort of concession, where many beings around the universe were called to assist Earth through its transformation process, and the ones that agreed to all the rules and stipulations that the situation had attached to it are the ones who are here right now. But yes, some ships have left because their job was done. Others were expelled and some new ones have arrived in order to take their place, but the main group remains more or less the same. We don't think that many more ships will be arriving in the future, though. Earth's transmutation shouldn't take that much longer in our conception of time, and for that reason, there's no further need for assistance at the current state of things.
Question: you said that what is happening on Earth is a game, played by different groups of people, with the final goal of having total control of Earth. Why is this even a thing? Wouldn't having total control of the planet be something difficult to maintain, and almost impossible to hold on to in the long run?
Answer: when we say life is a game, we do mean it in a very abstract sense. By having total control of Earth and winning the game, you do get rewards, as it happens in a game. But the more apparent rewards that you may see on the surface, meaning, having a lavish life, full of material possessions, being the king or queen of your area, having people devoted and enslaved to you, for you to do whatever you want with them, that's the type of superficial rewards that the main group currently fighting to stay alive is playing. They went for the material rewards, and that's all they care about. They wanted instant gratification over anything else. For the other groups, taking control of Earth meant helping it move forward to where Earth needs to be in the short run, and the rewards for that are on a different level of consciousness than we currently can manifest to you. So, don't think of the game in its most primitive terms, but a game in a cosmic level that someday some of you may fully understand.
Question: are evil spirits and/or demons and possessions what we think they are? What can you tell me about that?
Answer: we can probably attach this answer to a previous one in this session, and that humans who have no souls are the most prone to be taken in by negative, dark or evil entities, whatever you prefer calling them, that exist on Earth on a different layer of existence than your bodies do. As souls need an empty body to incarnate on, the same way these negative low-energy entities, which you refer to as demons, can enter one of these bodies and influence its behavior. Please keep in mind that these demons can also enter bodies that currently do have a soul inhabiting it. If the soul is weak and not able to repel the demon, possession more than likely can occur. But if the soul is strong, it will repel most attacks, to a point where demons won't bother with that body anymore. It has happened, though, that even a body with a strong soul in it can temporarily be possessed by a demon if the strong soul desires it or accepts it, for whatever reasons this may be. But the strong soul has the advantage that once its purpose is fulfilled, it can kick out the demon at will, and the demon is unavoidably expelled. Its bodies with no souls are bodies with weak souls that may have to withstand these negative energies for the most part.
Question: is there a way for me to know if you are evil? Evil as a dictionary describes evil.
Answer: not really, because your concept of evil is your own, even if you take it from a dictionary. I'm not evil, and I'm not good. I just am. If your question is, do I kill, torture people, cause harm intentionally to others, have a dark hidden agenda to harm humanity and things of that nature? Then no, I don't do or have anything like that.
Question: you have said you are bound by a no interference clause in whatever deal you and the other aliens above Earth have agreed on. Have any of the other alien groups violated this clause? If so, what's the punishment for doing so?
Answer: as we mentioned before, Earth's current situation needed a set of rules and regulations for any group of aliens who wanted to assist on it, and one of those clauses was that we couldn't interfere in any major way. We can influence, we can suggest, we can maybe even guide, but we can't interfere unless Earth's own integrity is at risk. We won't let planet Earth be destroyed or ruined beyond repair. We are here to protect Earth. Which brings the probably odd follow-up situation that, we are not here to protect humans, just Earth itself. Regardless, most of us are very fond of humanity, as many of us inhabited human bodies in the past, so if we can help humans in any way we can, we certainly will, and we feel we are doing it right now. Going back to your question, there were a few visitors who didn't follow the rules established for this process and did interfere with the current state of things, mainly to assist one of these groups of people trying to take over the planet. They were found out and promptly expelled from the circle. Not major punishment or retribution was taken against them. We don't work at those levels. They just weren't allowed to be here anymore, so they were told to leave. So, any group in the circle that may defy these rules in the future may face a similar consequence.
Question: final question for now. Since you just revealed new information, what is this circle you just referred to? And, what do you mean by things happening in the future? You have said plenty of times that past, present and future are happening at the same time. If so, shouldn't you know which spaceships or whatever will violate the rules already?
Answer: you're missing an important point in your question. Past, present and future are indeed all happening at the same time, and because of that, we can't possibly know everything that will ever happen, as whatever present you're in, it absolutely changes the future you're in. So yes, we are allowed to see the future of some timelines, and we are trying to keep tabs on all of it, but when the present changes, so does the future, and so, we can't possibly know everything there is to be known. We think you sometimes forget the notion that we are not gods in your common sense of the word. We are not perfect, and we have never claimed to be. We are walking our own path as much as you are. We are just in a different situation than you are. We have access to vastly more knowledge than you, but we don't have infinite access to it. We are still bound and limited by many rules of our current existence. We will always happily answer your questions to the best of our capacity, but you should not take our word as sacred or anything of the sort. We could always be wrong, so you need to check with your own personal source and just go with whatever resonates with you, and not take everything we say as gospel. That would be a major disservice to these communications if that were the case. Stay alert and stay calm. We look forward to talking to you again.